What's up, nerds? Welcome to Nintendo Pal Block, our awesome Nintendo show. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrigan, and alongside me, as always, that man, Edward Varnell. Ed! Yes!
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 Listener questions. Yes!
Listener questions. Okay, so we were going to talk about the Splatoon Direct, but we're going to save that for Tuesday's episode so we have time to digest and take notes and everything.
Yes. And in case of Platinum just finally announcing something, because I don't know what Platinum is doing.
I know.
Like, we were hyped for last episode with the Bayonetta, and I'm still hyped and juiced about that. But they hinted at something else, and so I'm just waiting for all of this to be announced.
Yeah,
or
so
to be shown.
If you're not keeping up with Platinum Games and what they've been tweeting and liking and favoriting and retweeting and stuff, last episode we talked about the Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2 stuff, and then they were liking and favoriting and retweeting Switch controllers and stuff from a studio, which I did some research, does a lot of porting in terms of Japanese games to other platforms. And then, what was it? Yesterday, right? The Wonderful 101. They had the characters from Wonderful 101 sitting around in a circle playing a screen
that was kind of like smoothed out, like you couldn't really see it.
Yeah, they blurred out the screen, but they were all holding the Joy-Con grip Switch controller with the Joy-Cons in them, and I was like, and Ed and I were like freaking out because now they're teasing Wonderful 101 on Switch, and it's just like, man, I will totally repurchase these games on Switch when they come.
Yes.
So that's a thing that's happening, and maybe, next week hopefully we'll have some sort of announcement. I was kind of surprised today after the Splatoon one. They didn't tease anything, but they did say they were focusing only on Splatoon. So maybe we'll have another Direct in a couple weeks or so. But yeah, man, Platinum is playing with my heart real bad right now. Gosh, Bayonetta 2 is so good, man, and Wonderful 101 is awesome. It's basically super hyper action-packed Pikmin.
If they announce Vanquish 2, the trifecta of Platinum games, I think I'll just be like, yep, I pretty much don't need my other. Well, I need my Xbox, my PS4. I guess I'll just keep it.
I'm not gonna lie, if they start porting some Wii U games that I really love, and especially Platinum porting those games, and if hypothetically a Vanquish 2 would happen, like, I'm getting rid of one of my other consoles because I just can't do it anymore. I just can't. I gotta be all up in this Nintendo business. So
exactly.
No, I won't get rid of anything, but I would if I had to.
Sega Platinum, if Nintendo's putting out money to get games developed for their system, Vanquish 2. Yeah, they did it before.
I know. So, I'd be so down for some Vanquish. I mean, that would feel like, not only is Vanquish an awesome game, and like a sequel would be so awesome, but like, right, Vanquish totally fills a hole in Nintendo's portfolio. It's a third-person shooter action, third-person action shooter, which Nintendo does not have. Well, I guess Splatoon, but like, you know what I mean. The high like action stuff. Base. Yeah.
Cover base, I should say.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. Oh, gosh, just give me something, Platinum. You're killing me over here.
And if they could run it as like the PC ports, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, like So
I know.
So that's kind of what we've been super hyped about this week, is the Platinum stuff, and I'm really excited to dive deeper into this Zelda DLC. I played a little bit last night, found Majora's Mask, super hyped. I'm on the quest to find the Phantasm suit, the Phantasm armor. So that's kind of my quest right now. I downloaded Shantae, Half Genie Hero, and what was the other one? Oh, Mighty Gunvolt Burst. So those are the two games I'm going to dive into too on my Switch. But Ed, what have you been playing before we get into these uh, questions we got here?
Well, Mass Effect and Dragon Quest, just getting that out the way. Um, but for I got back into Breath of the Wild and got lost in the world once again. I finally got the master story, everybody!
Woo!
Yay! Uh, and I got one more trial to do with the Karoks. I just got one more to do for them. Uh, but I also got the second um fairy. Uh, and she looks like she's kind of dark skinned on this one. And so I was upgrading all my gear and everything. I was just like, yes. And there's just something about those fairies and Link that just makes me laugh, and that just feels so charming because Link is just like, you know, he looks like, oh, you guys are kind of make me blush. And I feel like that's kind of cute that they're doing that to him. But yeah, I'll be getting back to more Breath of the Wild, getting some more shrines, uh, and then getting to the end of the game. I got one more Guardian, but I want to do some more shrines before I get to that last Guardian, because it's the fire one. It's like in the volcano era.
Yeah, that's the last. That's the one that I did last, and it's yeah, it's yeah. So
Yeah, so I want to do that and then still do some shrines and stuff before I get to Ganon, and then I'll beat the game. So hopefully by the end of in a couple of weeks I'll be done with the game and have a thorough talk, our final Zelda talk,
yeah,
uh, and then I'll buy the DLC and then we play all of that.
man, Zelda's so good. It's so good. Like, man, I don't even know. It's so good. I don't. I can't even tell you because
It's
like
I,
it's just.
it's just my game of the year. It's just
I've.
I there's nothing. I know I talk about rhyme in this music, but I feel like to me, Breath of the Wild, if there's any flaw, it was kind of the frame rate stutter. But I'll take it. I can make do. It's not like that all the way.
Mm,
But everything about this game is just perfect.
yeah.
Like it's a lot of people cannot stop talking about or stop posting about this game or telling them that I stopped playing or anything. It's just like every day someone is talking about Breath of the Wild, and I don't really see that much with a lot of other games unless it's news based. But like for a lot of people personally, they've just been talking about Breath of the Wild, and I think a title that strong to keep a communication and dialogue about it still going on, that's really good.
Hmm.
you know and
Yeah.
I just feel like this game is, I'm like, it's just perfect. Like they just got so much stuff right that you didn't expect them to get right.
Yeah. It's one of those games we're gonna be talking about for a long time. It's gonna be one of those games we talk about, you know, 10 years from now when and hopefully we have at least one or two more Zelda games. But like we're gonna be talking
Hmm.
about this and how it changed the way we look at Zelda in 10, 15, 20 years from now if this podcast's still going that long. Like it's just one of those games, man, and it's easily in my top five favorite games of all time, if not really creeping up on that top spot. It is for me. It is the game I've always wanted a Zelda game to be. It is the game I've always wanted, from Nintendo,
Hmm.
and it's. I mean, I've said it 1,000 times. It gave me the same feeling for a current generation game that Mario 64 gave me the first time I played it, jumping from 8 and 16 to the 64-bit era and 3D graphics area. So
Right. And I think for me, because normally do a top 10 of all time, I think I'm kind of right there with you, being it somewhere around my top five. I know definitely, I think I just finalized and made a decision that out of all the Zelda games, I think Breath of the Wild just takes the number one spot.
yeah, it definitely does. So we're gonna be talking about Zelda a long time on this show. I know people want different content, but as long as the content's relevant, and Zelda right now is super relevant with the DLC and stuff.
Yes.
we're gonna talk about it, and I mean that's what I'm playing right now. I can't stop playing that game right now. It's the DLC is so good, and I gotta keep my 100% up. I have 7 side quests left now because of the DLC, so going to get that. Uh, but
Nice.
the Switch has just in general, been a life changing system. I can play more. I can play more games with the time I have. I don't always have to. My wife and I spend time together. That's just what people do, and I have to sacrifice game time to do that, and I'm willing to do that. But now with the Switch, I can play it while we're watching a show, and we can play it while we can play it together because it's something that's approachable for her in terms of Mario Kart and Tetris, and she likes walking around in Zelda. I got her to walk around a little bit. She doesn't want to do anything, she just wants to walk around and whatever, but it's super approachable for her. And then when she goes to bed, I can just stick it in the dock and play it on TV. It's I know every game isn't built for the Switch, but I would like Microsoft and Sony to come out with a system that's similar, because I want to enjoy those games too. But at the same time, I want everything on Switch. So
Well, Microsoft needs to strengthen up their first party,
right,
and
right.
Sony, I guess, need to actually make something that's worth owning.
They need to put something out first of all, besides
Yeah.
Horizon and Uncharted. Like Horizon's great, but what are some of the other major first parties? Infamous, I still think, you know, besides Horizon, because I really do like Horizon. I did jump back into that a little bit. Is really good. But besides Horizon, I think Infamous still stands as their best exclusive. Besides Horizon, for me at least, I thought it was really good, and the Order didn't do well. But I mean, that's a topic.
Well,
That's a
I
topic for
think,
another show. You know.
yeah, I think Sony needs to make like their first party needs to be strong enough to continue to have a discussion,
Hmm.
because we could always do that with Nintendo.
Right.
We'll complain about Microsoft, but Sony, I'm just like, okay, you guys are the leading platform if you guys want to see it that way, but you need something to help us continue a discussion, because if you think it's going to be trophies and you think it's going to be DLC, you might want to think again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why that's why neither of us are doing Nerds Gone Platinum anymore. We handed that off to Moose, and I was on this week's episode. We were talking some DMC, which was a really good talk. I love that game. Gosh, I
Yes.
love that game so much. It's man, so good. Another game I would love ported to Switch, by the way, would be DMC. Just throwing it out there. If I could have okay, I know we got to get to questions, but if I could have 2 series ported to Switch, one would be DMC. I don't really care about the other Devil May Cries. I just want DMC, and
Hmm.
I want Tomb Raider. If I had those 2 franchises on Switch, I would not need another console.
I literally need a double pack of Tomb Raider
Yeah,
on there. And
yeah,
Square Enix said they were going all in on Switch. And trust me, when you have something like Square Enix, and people got to remember, like I said, Nintendo has made Square Enix more money than I think anything combined with a lot of their games. They complained about Tomb Raider, but Bravely Default made the money, put
yeah,
them in the black.
yeah. Well,
Final Fantasy 15 might have did the same thing, but I'm just like, if you bring your good games to Switch and whatever their new RPG is gonna be, like people are going to play it.
yeah. Plus, you look at the supposed leaked art for Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider being revealed at Gamescom. There's a Nintendo logo on there. There is a Switch logo on the key art that was leaked. I don't know if it's official or not, but that would honestly, I think Tomb Raider coming to Switch would be a huge get for Nintendo. And I'm not talking I don't care if we don't
Yes.
I don't care if we get Call of Duty or whatever, but having a story-driven game with a lot to do in it, that's third party would be a huge get for Nintendo. and
Right.
Tomb Raider I think is perfect for the Switch. So,
Right. Because people gonna be wanting to play that game on the go. You know,
yeah.
just
I mean,
just think,
I would.
just think, Zelda dungeon that never got used being one of the exclusive adventure things, exploration things Laura could go into.
Yeah. Yeah. So, sorry, my wife called me. I had to tell her I'm doing Power Block.
So, but first of all, everybody, thank you for all who sent a question, and we really do appreciate it. You guys came out and asked us some really great questions, and we cannot wait till we really get into them and discuss them because we have a lot of answers and a lot of opinions about what you guys asked us. So, once again, we just want to thank you guys for the support and for the questions that you gave us. There's a lot of them I cannot wait to give my answer. But yeah, Corey, you want to take over?
Yeah, like Ed said, we've been wanting to implement questions into the show for a long time, and maybe we'll start asking questions every week for maybe answer 2 or 3 a show. But we want to kind of show our fans that we see what you're saying and we see what you're asking, and we want to dedicate a show to you guys. And every once in a while we'll do that or start implementing them regularly. But we've got 10 questions to answer, Ed, and a lot of them are from our friends from around the internet, but a lot of them are just from random fans, and it's exciting.
Yes.
So I guess I'll lead off with our good friend Josh Brandt, who is, known as the PlayStation guy over at Life of Gaming, and he has traveled back into the world of Nintendo, which very proud of him for doing that. I think the biggest draw for him though is like the Switch is kind of like the new Vita, with the indies heading that direction, and plus you get Zelda, so that's good. Josh asks, what is your biggest gripe with Nintendo right now? This false scarcity crap with the classics, I think he means the consoles, and games being locked to each individual Switch are major hindrances.
Okay, let me answer this one first. I'm going to do the second part first before I answer the first part of this question. The way he said being locked to individual Switch are major hindrances. I think because of the R4 situation with the 3DS and DS that they've been having problems with, where people put in different games and selling them on that big kind of memory card thing. I think Nintendo has tried to do something to work around that. And because that's kind of like games, that's like emulation of games that for their third party companies that they have business, their business partners that they've been working with. Sorry about that, everybody. They're losing out on money, so they want to be able to tie a particular game to your console, so it shows that you are a rightful owner, that you paid money for this game, and that that is, it wasn't stolen or anything, or you be sharing copies of games and stuff. So I think they just feel like they just want to protect people's business investments for that. To answer your question about one of the biggest gripes with Nintendo right now, one of my biggest gripes with Nintendo right now, it's not so much Nintendo, it's so much Western third party. My biggest gripe with Nintendo is that Western third party is not giving Nintendo once again a fair chance. They're not creating anything suitable and exclusive for the Switch. So it doesn't, and everybody could get on Nintendo and say that Nintendo's going out to these third parties and stuff like that and reaching out, but I think third party is not giving their full commitment and ready to divulge anything out and trying to make something exclusive for Nintendo. I was just reading like the developers of Cuphead. That game is a lifetime exclusive for Microsoft. And none of the third party is doing that for Nintendo. They're not giving them a lifetime exclusive of a game. And it don't have to be. And from a lot of comments that I've been reading around for everybody, it's just like they don't care if it's very graphical or about the power. They just want you to create a fun game for that system that they could play at home and take on the go.
Hmm.
So my biggest gripe is not with Nintendo themselves. It's mostly Western third parties. If they were going to be committed to Nintendo, they should start making exclusive games or lifetime games for them systems. Because, like I said, as always, you can put a big third-party game, such as something like as Mass Effect, on two consoles that's supposed to be so powerful, and look at the sale numbers that happen with that. Look at the sale numbers that happen with Dishonored 2. Like, these major big games that's supposed to be coming to these systems are not doing the numbers. So if, for example, you want a game like that ported to Nintendo, do you expect the Nintendo's console to make up the money that's lost for the two consoles that was getting the major support? It's not supposed to work that way, or it doesn't work that way. So I feel like Western third party is like kind of my biggest gripe, that they're not making nothing completely exclusive and willing to try out some weird ideas for a Nintendo console.
Yeah. Yeah. To answer that first part, my biggest gripe with Nintendo, and we know it's coming. My biggest gripe is, where's Virtual Console? Like, that's what I want, right? I think a lot of players want that, but like, with the classic consoles coming out, I think they're holding off on Virtual Console as long as they can. Plus,
Mhm.
like, they have such a strong first party lineup, a solid, consistent first party lineup, for the first time in a long time, and I think they don't want to jeopardize that with introducing Virtual Console just yet. But at the same time, like, a lot of people are asking for those games, and other people are putting classic games on the Switch, and it's I don't really care about third party support on Switch. I buy Nintendo stuff for Nintendo games. Yeah, if there's a third party game for Switch, I'll buy it there because I want to make sure like I'm doing my part in supporting Nintendo getting third parties. Uh,
Right.
I mean, I won't buy the games I don't care for, but I'll buy, like, for example, NBA 2K is coming to Switch, and it's also coming to other platforms. I'm buying it on Switch because I want Nintendo to know that I want to play basketball on the couch, on the go, everywhere I can, and that's my way of doing that. I'm gonna buy Skyrim on Switch because it's a game that I've been interested in, but never really had the time to really dive deep into it. And the Switch is, the same way I played Zelda. I want to experience Skyrim, sitting on my couch in the handheld mode and take it with me. And, if I don't like it, I'll probably get rid of it. But, I want to show them that initially I want these third party games. And, with the teases from Platinum now, and I know that, Nintendo published Wonderful 101 and Bayonetta 2, but like, it's the same thing, right? I want to support them and tell them, hey, look, we want Platinum games on Nintendo
Right.
consoles, and we want more Bayonetta, we want more Wonderful 101. So, but my biggest gripe is still, where's Virtual Console? And like, somebody brought something up the other day. I think maybe it was the Giant Bombcast, where, uh, the NES Classic, obviously really hard to find, and I still have never seen one. But thanks, Ed. Except for Ed got me one. That's the only time I've ever seen the box. I actually just turned it on the other day and played Super Mario 2 all the way through, and it was really good.
Yes.
Super Mario 2 is just amazing. I don't know why nobody talks about that game when they're talking about 1, 3, and World. They just skip 2, and it really bothers me. But,
I don't know.
I know we have a question later about the SNES Classic, but somebody brought it up on Giant Bomb where, like, why don't you just release a Switch cart of these games so people can play them on the Switch too, or like a download code with the classic box, so if you have a Switch, you can play those games on your Switch on the go and then come home and play it on your console, you know which I thought was a really good idea. So I mean, that's my only gripe right now is where's Virtual Console? I think Nintendo has done 99.9% of the 99% of their marketing and stuff with Switch and their consistent library, but just Virtual Console. I really think Nintendo's doing a fantastic job with Switch.
Right. And they're doing their best to meet demand, so they really trying to get the system out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. But in terms of the second part of the question, there was a rumor the other day that in a future update, Nintendo is allowing you to move stuff over, is allowing you to, I think a lot of it is just stuck right now because they don't have their online system in place yet.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you that when that online service goes up, if some of the features aren't at least on par with Xbox Live and PSN, that should be implemented as soon as that online service is up.
And that's probably why I feel like they delayed it. Like that infrastructure for Switch, I think they're trying to get it right. So when it releases that, it doesn't have problems. And don't forget, everybody, this online thing is only going to be $20 a year.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that really bad?
No, $20 a year is amazing, and plus, like, they're teasing that for the NES thing, So, the Netflix style thing. I don't really quite know what it is, but if they start doing a thing like Xbox Game Pass that's included in your $20 a year subscription, like, that's not a bad deal at all.
Right.
So. But yeah. So, you want to move on to the next question?
Yes, let's go.
Okay. Okay. So, my cousin asked me a question. Shout out to Michael, my cousin. So he says, am I going to be able to get the SNES Classic? Do I need to pre-order now or what? I kind of wanted the first one, but I need this one. So. This is a complicated question because they already said they're going to sell significant larger amount of the SNES Classics.
Yes.
But at the same time, you got to beat the scalpers out to those stores. Like you and I are going to go stand in line for one, which I'm super excited for. You have no idea.
Yes.
So there's that. But, I think it might be a little bit easier to get than the NES Classic. I don't know is my big question, I guess, or concern.
Okay, so for those who how should I phrase this? Okay, so Toys R Us has a rewards program. Now, the rewards program is that when you sign up for rewards, you get points for merchandise that you buy. You get coupons, and sometimes for things like this, like NES Classics and stuff, you get emails saying that they have some in stock, and you will get that notification first before anybody else. So if you're not a rewards member, I advise you go to Toys R Us and become one. Hopefully, the day that it releases. If you want one, you need to be at a store around 2 or 3 hours early. Not saying you need to camp out overnight, but you need to be at a store. And when it hits around maybe 7, 8 o'clock, depending on, get your Switch, your Vita, your phone, your 3DS, whatever, and get in line. Because the thing about it is that if you are dedicated and you really want one, you need to be there early.
Yeah.
And if you don't be there early, then you have to wait for a next shipment. Because A, you got to realize everybody's going to be calling for this. B, they're not going to have enough in the first shipment that people think it is. So if you think that you're going to be able to walk into a store and get one, think again.
Yeah.
So if you want one to be able to get it, go ahead and be early. I'm gonna say this: do not go to any scalpers. I don't care if they have 5 of them, selling them for $200 some. Do not. It's not worth it.
No.
It really is not worth it. And even if you do not get one this year, do not be upset because it's a $80 system, and you got to think, how long are you going to be playing this? How long are your kids are going to be playing this? You got to make sure that all that sacrifice that you made to get a system, is it going to be worth it in the long run?
Yeah, because it's a cool little thing to have. I'm not gonna lie, I really want one. I love the Super Nintendo. At the same time, if you own a Wii, a Wii U, a 3DS, and eventually a Switch, all of these games are available there or will be available, except for Star Fox 2 right now.
Right, and Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi's Island, but there's a way around that with like Wii and Wii U, or at least Wii U, where they have the Game Boy Advance, which, don't get me wrong, not the best version of that game, but it's still there, right? You can still play it. So like, these games are there. This is just kind of like a novelty device, but at the same time, a lot of people have a lot of love for the Super Nintendo, and as big Nintendo fans, we want one and we need one for this show and for our love for Nintendo. But at the same time, like, if you don't get one, don't go to scalpers. Just don't support that crap. Like, it's a bunch of garbage what they do, and like, a lot of sites are implementing the only one per customer thing. A lot of places are canceling pre-order. Like, was it Amazon Germany, I think?
Amazon UK.
Yeah, people were pre-ordering them by like 10, 15 a person, and anybody that had over one, all their pre-orders got canceled. So some retailers are realizing that this thing is popular. Some people are realizing that there is a higher demand than just for scalpers, and they want to treat the customer right. So I think that's a good thing.
Right. So. And the pre-sale thing is that it's for people not to put their pre-sale down, and then they're going to sell their pre-sale to them. Sometimes it does not work that way, because at some stores you need the actual receipt to do the pre-sale. And if you're ordering something, if you're going to buy a scalper's pre-sale, you're not guaranteed if they're going to send you that receipt, and then you got to go to that store to actually get it.
Yeah.
So and if you don't get one on the first shipment, hopefully Nintendo has learned their lesson, and a good flow of them, happens. And yes, calling the stores is a good thing, but you got to realize, don't call them all on an everyday basis. Maybe do your best to find out when a next shipment is going to come in, and sometimes check some of the ads that's going to be out. And if they say that, hey, we got Super NES for this ad, definitely, if you're a Toys R Us Rewards member, I know this is kind of advertising, you get that email of their advertisement early, so you'll know what is going to be at that time, what's going to be in that ad, what's going to be at that store, so you'll be able to get heads up. So I'm just saying, do your research and get ready. And if you need to take that day off, take it off. But you're going to have to be in that line, and you're going to have to be patient. And second of all, I'm just going to say this, and we'll move on to the next question. Get your thing protected if you do get a Super NES, because if anything happens, at least you got your stuff protected, and you can get some kind of refund, or they could get it fixed.
Yeah.
So just be ready for that, because if you spend $80, you better be ready to just spend a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. So avoid the scalpers if you can, avoid the scalpers at all costs. But I know he has a 3DS. Like, a lot of these games are available there. So be patient. It'll happen. Just have connections like I do. just kidding. But yeah. So Moving on to our next question, Ed. We have Jesse White prediction for Metroid Prime 4 release date.
It's going to be in October, third week of October, whatever that Friday is.
What next year? Next year
of 2018. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be their big. It's going to fill that slot that Mario Odyssey is filling this year. Right. It's going to be their big holiday game. They said they were pushing for 2018. I believe them. Nintendo always has that one big game that gets delayed over and over, a la Breath of the Wild. But they're not going to put out a game unless it's perfect. And I'll wait for that Metroid game, especially since Metroid's coming to 3DS this year. We're getting a proper Metroid game this year, and if they need to delay it to spring 2019, that's fine. But yeah, I'm predicting it's going to be their October game next year for sure. So, I can't wait, man. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yes.
The last question on my end comes from Todd Oxtra.
Hi, Todd.
Love Todd. He was on NGR. He's going to be on Monday's NGR episode, so I'm really excited.
Yay.
So why didn't Nintendo come up with a wireless option for voice chat on the Switch? Looks like we get dongles and wires if we want voice and in-game audio. Man, I don't know. That's this is the one thing. I guess this goes back to Josh's question of big gripe. Here's the thing. I don't care about voice chat. And if you and I are going to play together, we're going to be on Hangouts or Skype or something. Like, it's not a huge deal to me. I don't like to voice chat with people unless it's, something big that I'm doing, like a Destiny raid or something. It's not important to me. But at the same time, they maybe could have come up with a cleaner solution. I don't really know what is in the hardware. But at the same time, I don't know. It does seem a little backwards, but
I think they didn't want that all that stuff to be taxing on the system, because even though you got Bluetooth functionality on Switch, just think about all the kids and stuff who gonna be hearing your conversation. You kind of got to realize that the Switch is for everybody. And if you're thinking that the voice chat stuff is for adults only, you might want to look at the past history of Xbox and all the dialogue that you hear from certain players on there. I think with all the wires and stuff like that, yeah, it is a little bit too much. It is a big catastrophe, but it'll be easier for people to be on Skype or to be on Google Hangouts, to be talking with the friends and that they want to play and just want to play games with. So it just might have been too taxing on the system if they did the Bluetooth. And don't forget, this is all options. You don't have to get all the dangles and wires and stuff. You can always, because even if you go to Xbox One and you go to PS4, those are not Bluetooth. So you still got to use kind of wires. I think PS4 might be Bluetooth. I don't know.
I think PS4 is Bluetooth, but Xbox, you have to have it plugged into your controller.
The controller. Okay.
Well, I think the controllers are Bluetooth now for Xbox. With the S, at least, are Bluetooth.
Oh, the S.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know how many people actually own Bluetooth headsets. Those are kind of expensive. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Bluetooth thing, the wired thing. I think it just would have been texting on the system. So it's nothing major. Yeah, people hate it, but do you want like your kid having $100 headset or whatever Bluetooth to talk crap online?
Yeah.
And don't forget, this is coming from a third party. This is not coming from Nintendo. So
yeah. Man, okay, so that's all the questions I have on my end. Ed, you want to start reading your list of questions?
Okay, so this is from Brad Thompson. Will Nintendo ever bring a standard, i.e., Sun slash Moon Pokemon game to mobile phone, tablet devices? No, they're not.
Mm-mm. No,
Uh,
I don't. Like, I think the fact that, the success of Pokemon Go, like, whatever hopes anybody had, the success of Pokemon Go, and even now, it's still got so many, users every day, especially now that they added the multiplayer and the new raid function and everything. Like, I think that's the Pokemon game you're gonna get, or a puzzle game or something. I don't think there's ever gonna be a mainline Pokemon game for mobile.
yeah, I think Nintendo got that exclusive sold up. They make too much money off of their hardware with the Pokemon games. Um, and for people, uh, they people don't want to be microtransaction for their Pokemon and stuff, or and things of that nature. So it would just be better to make that game for handheld, and they're making one for Switch. So that's where most of the money is going to be at for the Pokemon Company with the regular series.
Yeah. I think Pokemon. They don't want to take away from the 3DS and eventually Switch markets either, because like those are, let's be honest, Pokemon's probably the biggest property on a Nintendo handheld. So
Yes.
like they don't want to. If you can get it on your phone, which everybody gets, not free, but everybody has a cell phone. If a parent can just hand their kid a app, and like that's gonna take away business from their handheld market and the Switch market eventually. So like, yeah, they're not. No, sorry,
No.
sorry. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. It's just it's a business decision that Nintendo owns 40% of stake in the Pokemon company, so they're not gonna let their biggest franchise go.
Yes.
So
So. Well, that was a quick question. Our next question comes from James Flaherty. Okay, who will win in the fight, Ripley versus Bowser? Also, are you guys looking forward to the new 3DS games coming this year compared to the upcoming Switch lineup? Um, Bowser will win in this fight
yeah,
against
yeah,
Ripley.
yeah. Bowser will win.
Yeah.
Uh, in terms of 3DS lineup, I'm excited for Metroid. I'm excited for what else is coming out this year. Hey Pikmin, I'm not too excited for.
I
Uh,
am.
I'm gonna get it because I like Pikmin a lot, but I would rather just have Pikmin 4. This looks like a weird side thing that they're doing, which is interesting. What else? What else is coming out? Pokemon, I guess. Upcoming
Um,
3DS
I think that
games.
sushi game is coming out. Hopefully that comes out this year. I'm super stoked for that. I really want to play it. I still need to go get Arrow Oasis. I think hopefully we get a 3DS direct to see what more titles is coming out for the 3DS. Just like the Switch lineup, Nintendo is we like we said on last episode, Nintendo has a strong lineup for both systems planned this holiday season. And 3DS, a lot of people might not think that with the Switch being now 3DS it's not going to be supported, or people are not going to care. No, there's going to be a lot of great titles coming out for
Oh,
3DS, and
there's a new Professor Layton game coming out this fall that I'm really excited for.
yeah. So, and then like China, I think China got, or no, South Korea, they got a new Apollo game coming out that's just been ready for 3DS. So maybe that might be localized and that might actually come out here. So we don't know yet. So there, I think there's going to be a lot of strong titles. I think there's a new Monster Hunter game also coming out this year.
Double
Um,
Cross. I don't know if it's
I mean
been.
that's Japan, but there was a Monster Hunter Stories.
Oh yeah, Monster Hunter Stories. You're right. You're
So, but I don't know. I don't know if that got a official release date here in America or anything like that. So, I'm super looking forward to this. I'm super hyped for both systems. Definitely when I get my Switch, I could build that library. But my 3DS library is already it's already strong. And the games that's coming out this holiday season will make it stronger. So I am looking forward to like pretty much everything. But for new 3DS games, definitely Hey Pikmin I gotta have. The sushi game I definitely gotta have. Samus Returns I definitely gotta have. There's gonna be some indie games like Kirby just came out with a new game today for 3DS. So there's a lot of titles for 3DS that I'm definitely aren't looking forward to.
Yeah, definitely. Layton's Mystery Journey is the one I'm really looking forward to. That and Samus Returns are the two big ones. I'm trying to hold off on Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon. I don't know. I didn't get Pokemon Sun and Moon either though. Like I haven't had the drive to go get a new Pokemon game since probably X and Y. I have Y. I have Pokemon Y. And like I just haven't had the drive to go get it because I played maybe 5 or 6 hours of that game and I moved on to something else and I was just like, I as in terms of like Nintendo console games, I buy every one that Nintendo puts out, but in terms of the handheld stuff, like I'm a little bit pickier on what I try to buy, just because I don't play handhelds as much as I want to or should or. So like I don't know. I try to be pickier with my 3DS stuff than I am with my Wii U and Switch stuff now. So, but yeah, those are the two I'm really looking forward to, and I think they're going to be good. And we're going to get support for 3DS beyond 2018, according to Reggie. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yes.
Woo! Sorry, that was loud. I'm sorry.
So we have another one from Todd Oxtra. He asks, "What genres would you like to see more on Switch?" I would like to see more 2D fighters, and I would like to see 2D shoot 'em ups, and I would like arcade games to come to Switch. Like I know Neo Geo's bringing out their arcade games, but there are a ton of arcade games that never got released on a console that I would love to see on Switch. Um, Oh, and beat 'em ups. I would love some good 2 to 4 player beat 'em ups coming to Switch.
Yeah. I don't know. 3D action games. I think I want to see like the Bayonetta DMC style thing. I mean everything we talked about at the top of the show. I want to see those style games come to Switch. I think it's those are games that are missing from the Switch's portfolio right now, and I think that'd be a perfect fit. A Japanese style, stylish action game. So
Right. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about a MMO and action style game, like maybe 4 to 8 players, doing straight action.
yeah,
Like I would love to see something like that. If people want to say Scalebound esque, I guess, but yeah, that's what I would like to see.
yeah.
Lisa Goodman, love you, Lisa, from Secret Friends United. Also, she asked, "Will we get another Pikmin game eventually?" Yeah, Pikmin
Yeah,
4.
it's already been confirmed. It's in development. So
It's in development. We'll probably see something about it next year at E3, hopefully, or a spring direct. We'll get something
I think
nice.
we
about
might, after the big holiday rush and Mario's out and everything, I think that end of the year direct, you're going to see a big direct detailing what's coming, first half of 2018 and beyond. Like, I think they're going to have more on Metroid Prime 4. I think they're going to have some announcements like Pikmin 4, Pikmin World, whatever it's called. Show more of the Yoshi game and the Kirby game that are coming. Show more of that Fire Emblem game. So, I think Pikmin would fit nicely in that slot. So, yeah, Pikmin 4. I'm excited for Pikmin. That's a game I want on Switch real bad.
Yes. Okay. So we got another question from Brad Thompson. When is a good time to buy a Switch? Right now, I'm not 100% sold on the available games, and while there is Zelda, I need more. I need some more variety.
Holiday.
The good time to buy a Switch is when you can afford one.
Yeah. The big thing is like A lot of people like to wait to buy a system
Hmm.
to see what kind of library they're going to have. And I think Nintendo's proven they have a strong, diverse library this fall. And, like, if you want to play Mario and Zelda, this fall is a good time to pick one up. And then you can pick up a third game like Mario Kart or Fire Emblem Warriors or,
Right.
I guess Xenoblade probably at some point in there. Like, there's a big diverse first party lineup for Switch, and like, a lot of people buy Xbox Ones and PS4s early because of the third party things that they expect there. But you know, if you're into indies and Nintendo games, like this fall will probably be one of the better times to buy it. Or if you're looking forward to Metroid, I'd wait till then because you're still going to be able to get Zelda and Mario then too. So,
Right.
uh,
Um.
yeah,
Uh. I feel like a good time is to buy it now when you have the money and you can afford one. And Brad, you might not be 100% sold on the games, but think of it as this way: you're getting new IPs from a lot of developers, and we're in the age where we have companies that play it too safe product that we all feel like that game that or series needs to rest. Assassin's Creed, Grand Theft Auto, Battlefield. We get all these big major third party games that just play it safe. They look good and the marketing speak is there, but it's they're not always what it seems to be. At least with Switch, you're getting new IPs, so you're getting new experiences. You're getting something, at least I'm able to try something and see if I like it or not for not much money. I feel like Switch and Nintendo always try to give a diverse library for their games. So yes, first party, um, and indies. Not too many Western third parties. This is probably be a good time. Hopefully, that more Japanese third party will support Switch more, and people will be able to play those games because it feels like it's a resurgence of the 80s where you were able to play weird and quirky games that you knew good and well you'd never heard of from a company, but it was a video game and you were willing as a kid to give it a try, whether you rented or you seen it in a magazine. And it feels like a resurgence with this with Switch. So you might not get the big and best games that a lot of marketing have third party companies have shown you, and I'm calling them marketing third parties because they show you a trailer but still without no gameplay, and you don't even know if you're gonna like that game when you pick it up. At least with Switch, you're seeing how the games are looking, and if you're very interested, they pique your interest, get them. I mean, and you're saving good money instead of paying $60 for a experience that might not be satisfying. You might actually get a better satisfying experience for like $15 to $10, $10 to $15. Um, and carrying it on the go and having someone and having your friend or your family member who might not even play video games to pick up the controller and game with you. You know, having that old couch feeling is really good. And once again, like I always say, improving your skill with another human player is always a good thing. That competition helps you better your skill. And so, the games that's available for Switch, like snipper clips, you might have a good old time and fall out and you be falling out and have really a lot of fun with that. So Brad, to you, whenever you can afford one, there have plenty of games that's good digitally and that's good physically that you could also try out and look for. It's
yeah.
a new experience that you are only going to be able to find on the Switch compared to the other systems.
Yeah, and like, hopefully we'll see more third party collaborations like Mario and Rabbids. Not necessarily third party straight up games, but like,
Hmm.
Nintendo reaching out to Ubisoft to get Mario and Rabbids. Like that game looks phenomenal. That game might secretly be someone's game of the year. That we're getting those kinds of experiences, and that's exciting. You mentioned snipper clips. The Shovel Knight stuff is coming first to Nintendo consoles. it's just one of those things, man. You
Right.
gotta pick and choose and see what kind of content you really want. And there's a diverse line of content coming to Switch, and
And
it's there for you.
and
I personally I wanted my Switch on day one because I wanted to be part of the conversation, and I realized like I have Mario Kart 8 on Wii U. I have a Wii U. I could have played Breath of the Wild there. Uh, but at the same time, like having this system, being able to take it with me, uh, being able just to step out of the room and be able to play it portably without being so close to my Wii U was super important to me, and it allows me to play more games and have more time for games. So
right.
there's a lot of
And
different factors.
and also watch the Nintendo Directs. Go watch the 3DS. I mean the indie one. Go watch the spring one. Go back early in January and watch the one that when they first announced the Switch. And show us some of those games. Like they have a lot of variety. Check some of the news websites. If they announce some game, go on YouTube and watch a trailer for it. You might actually be interested in them. So, that's my answer.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. So
uh,
yeah.
Lisa asks again, but she's asking for her 8-year-old. Her 8-year old wants to know if you think the arms people have actual hands underneath their weapons. Yes, they do. I believe they have. To your 8-year-old, yes, the characters have arms, actual arms underneath. You look at 10, 12. Tall or Twin Tall with Twin Tail, whatever her name is, her arm with her hair, and she has actual arms and hands. So I think they actually do have actual fingers. Um, that's just my thing.
Yeah. I mean, sure. I'll just say sure. They do.
Uh, and I think this is our last question. This comes from our last question once again comes from Brad. Will Mario Maker make it to the Switch? Not the original Mario Maker. I think Mario Maker 2 will come to Switch, and if it doesn't get announced in 2018, 2019.
I think uh, Mario Maker is one of the perfect candidates for a quote deluxe version, or like we saw Super Mario Maker on Wii U, and then we saw Super Mario Maker for Nintendo 3DS, and
Hmm.
I think we're going to see Super Mario Maker for Nintendo Switch. I don't know. I think it's going to be a more refined version of what we've already seen. Maybe I would really like to see a Super Mario 2 skin in there. I would like to see the Super Mario All Stars skins in there, like those types of
Yes.
things. You know, there's not much more they can do, but they can do some cool things in there to the point where like it warrants a full refresh. The All Stars ones are my big thing. Is like I would love to see those 16-bit versions of Mario 1, 2, and 3 in there. So, but yeah, I Mario Maker is one of their biggest things now, and to have quote infinite 2D side-scrolling Mario games, yeah, it's coming. There's no doubt in my mind that it's coming. Probably, uh, I want to say next year, but I think I want to say next year just based on the fact that you know the growing sales of Switch will provide the community with more designs, and that community is so smart and so cool to see the things that they're creating. I think Nintendo wants to keep that train rolling, so I want to say maybe summer of next year, a deluxe version or a proper Switch version will be there with the community intact.
Yes.
So you'll be able to download the ones that were created on Wii U to your Switch, and maybe vice versa. I don't know how that's gonna work, but you know, it'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thank you everybody for all your questions. We look forward to more questions and more topics and discussions to have with you guys.
Yeah, it's been slow in terms of news, but when the big news story hits, it's big, and we would like to fill that slow time with your questions. We would like to fill a
Yes.
lot of time with your questions, so keep sending them. We'll keep posting every week for your questions. We'll keep, uh, s- you know, hopefully in the near future we'll have a guest on. Hopefully, we're gonna try to switch some things up. No pun intended. Sorry, I don't. Wow, that just came out of my mouth. But yeah, that's the goal. And we love doing Power Block. We love Nintendo. Obviously, it's just a good time. It's a good time, and we love hearing from people who listen to the show, and so.
Yes.
Man, Ed, it's been a long week of podcasting.
I have more to do.
Yeah, I'm excited tonight. We're getting fiber. I'm excited for that. It's gonna be fun. Fast internet, faster upload speed, faster download speeds. It's gonna be a good time.
Yes.
It's gonna be a good time. Anything else we want to touch on this episode before we get out of here?
Um. Not really. Everybody just watch the Splatoon 2 direct and be ready for that discussion Monday, or for not Monday, Tuesday's episode. Just say.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching Nintendo Power Block. Remember, on our YouTube page, we're starting to break out our conversations into segments. So if you want to watch a quick video or whatever, come subscribe to NGR Radio's YouTube page. Check out ngrradio.com. Ed and I are there. My blogs and reviews should be up by the time you hear this episode, so I'm really excited to get those published. Ed,
Yay!
where can we find you on the internet?
You guys can find me on Twitter at @RetroCode, and you can check out my podcast, Optional Opinion, at SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and other podcast apps. And you know where else to find me. IGN.com for anime, Skirmish Frost for the moment, a World 1 podcast here on NGR, and Shout Engine. And Arsenal X here on NGR.
Yeah, Arsenal X. Dude,
yes.
Our first couple episodes of that are doing really well. Of Arsenal X, I'm proud of that show. The Shout Engine analytics are showing that show is doing very well. So I'm proud of us for pulling that together, and I think making that a proper podcast was the right decision.
Yes, and I will have some of my blogs and stuff up for NGR Radio for you guys to read. That all that stuff is coming along. I'm just working through my backlog bash blowout. I'm trying to get all of this stuff done because starting Wednesday next week, I will be starting Star Fox Zero. So
nice.
I know I need to still play more Star Ocean, get through that, but next Wednesday I'll be starting Star Fox Zero while playing other games.
Nice.
Plenty.
I need to revisit that game. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, and then getting my trip planned for Mr. Sir Derek right here, my boss, in the coming months.
Yes, we are going to be.
Woo!
Man, yeah, woo, dude, that's going to be a good week.
Yeah, that's going to be so much fun.
Oh, that's going to be a good weekend, man. I've got all kinds of fun things planned for us.
Yay!
Man, I'm so excited.
I'm like, I gotta see. Let's see. Do I need a church outfit? I need a shopping outfit. I need a travel outfit too and back. I know I need my pajamas. I need to bring like about 6 to 10 outfits.
So excited.
Yay! What's so?
Oh man. Well, I guess it's my turn. You can find me at Corey and HD on Instagram, Corey Hudson and HD on Twitter. I've been tweeting a little bit more recently. Ed and I are actually going to try to get some indie interviews on this show too, and that's exciting. So I've been trying to reach out the last day or two to some indie devs that are working on Switch games or have put out Switch games.
Yes.
You can find this show every Tuesday and Friday at 10 a.m. I've moved it back an hour, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, on iTunes, Google Play, Shout Engine, and Stitcher. I'm getting the Stitcher stuff worked out. By the time this episode goes up, you'll be able to find it there as well. Let's see. Where else can you find us? NGRradio.com. Like, subscribe, and share to our YouTube. Rate us on your podcast service of choice. I keep meaning to bring that up. Rate us, because ratings and comments help the show become more noticeable, become more popular, and that's the goal, is to grow as a community and as a podcast. So rate us, tell us how you feel, give us some feedback, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and also join us on the Nintendo Power Block on Facebook. We want to interact more with you guys there, and really hear your thoughts and stuff about Nintendo and video games in general. Yeah,
right.
So come talk to us.
Yeah, Facebook.com/groups/Nintendo Power Block is the Nintendo Power Block Facebook group. You can also join the NGR Radio Facebook group at facebook.com/group/NGR Radio Podcast. It's going to be a good time. I'm excited. So Ed, I love you. I love doing this show.
Love you too.
It's my favorite time of the week.
Yes.
So thank you so much for listening and or watching. Hopefully you're watching. And until Tuesday, we love you.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.